Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. This channel is for education and technology. In this channel, we investigate the what, why, how of ancient Chinese culture, which including the ancient Wing Chun culture. So as we all know, a few days ago, our friend Xi Xiaodong defeat another Tai Chi expert within seconds. So after that, I have received many messages from our friends who have doubt on traditional Chinese martial art, including Wing Chun. And many have asked me, so you see, if it is a real art, real Kung Fu, how come for past 3 years everybody get KO this way and couldn't even match up to the beginning level? So today I'd like to share with you, in traditional Chinese martial art, and that including in Wing Chun, there is a serious misunderstanding on what is traditional Chinese martial arts. And that happened for past about 100 years, when people get into this internal Fa Jing, Qi, and all this thing, or mind power, or using your Yi, not using your strength. Past 100 years is like that, the belief is like that, and now you see the result, what our MMA friend Xi Xiaodong have presents to the world. Okay, in today's sports science, we really be able to analyze what happened, what went wrong with traditional Chinese martial art, which including Wing Chun. What went wrong? So today I'd like to share with you. Hopefully this clear up everything. If this thing is not getting clear up, and people still have their mind on those internal Qi, mind power, have no sense of reality, no sense of what is traditional Chinese martial art reality, well, you know it is hopeless. You doing the same thing again and again, you're going to keep on getting the same result, which is our friend Xi Xiaodong have already proved to us. Okay? Now, the first thing is about body conditioning. You want to have a combat, you need to have strength, power, momentum, endurance. Well, power meaning you need to be able to exert your strength fast. Momentum, impulse momentum, meaning you need to be able to move around fast. Counter attack. Okay? So this is the basic of combat, disregard who is it or even animal. Okay? Now let's look at one thing in sports science, so that from this we can derive down everything and you see the full picture. And thus with this you also will know why or what you train works or it doesn't work or it never will works in the real life. Okay. So the first thing we need to know is the neuromuscular proficiency. So in a long way, in a long sentence, neuromuscular proficiency, we can say it as how well you engage and use your muscle through mental concentrations. In a short way, we can say that how well you use your body with your mind. Okay? So how well is your mind directing your body? That is the neuromuscular proficiency. Well, this is very important today. in sports science, people know you need to have a good neuromuscular proficiency to use this body. Now, in neuromuscular proficiency, one need to have neural connectivity, neural connection, mind and body, and also neural synergy, mind and the entire part of body. Okay? Now, in Wing Chun, we always say a term called hand issue from heart, Quyền Chong Sam Phạt in Cantonese. Okay? Now, a proper hand issue from heart have two meanings. A proper have two meanings. One is hand issue from heart is actually mean neuromuscular efficiency, meaning hand is the body, heart is your mind, your mental concentrations. So your body is directed by your mind. That's the first thing. That is get you back into the neuromuscular proficiency. Okay? That's the first content of this hand issue from heart in Wing Chun. The second content is this. Because Wing Chun is a Shaolin sword strike art. Shaolin sword strike art has a uniqueness of the heart here is using as an aim to aim at the opponent. Because a sword strike art use both hands in a really rapid way, continuous way. So it always like I aim at you with this and I can aim at you with that, okay? Disregard of how I move, I aim you with my heart. So both hands can be used. Okay, so there's a uniqueness of Shaolin sword strike. If you want to know more about this, there's in the Wing Chun Resurrecting book. Okay? Now, that's why proper hand issue from heart, you need to know these two things. Otherwise, all bets off, because we really just create our own stuff. We will never train the neuromuscular proficiency. We will never train in the proper short strike, impulse momentum handling, or the uniqueness of the style. Okay? Now, another thing is on loose or soft, playing it loose or soft. Well, loose or soft is just a means to develop a better neural connection and neural synergy of the body. But loose, soft have to be proper. Okay? That means your entire 7 balls has to be able to be intact. That means proper. Only that way you can move your entire body. Now, in Wing Chun 1850, it's called snake bodies warm move. The entire body, every joint is moved softly. Why? It is to prime up the neuromuscular handling. Okay? Now, so you know that loose is nothing magic, nothing what do you call it, advanced. So don't just buy in when people say, Soong, as soon as you Soong, you do anything. That's nonsense. You need to know what that is for. Okay? Not to mention that, even loose, you need to know how to loose properly. Solve, you need to know how to solve properly. It's not dance, man. Same with this hand issue from heart. Okay? It's not just like I stand there and I punch this way, this hand issue from heart. It is not. It is a concept of, a means of develop the neuromuscular proficiency and a means of develop the uniqueness of short strike, where both hands can go rapidly in action, in close range. Okay? Now, proper, both in the hand issue from heart and the soft or Soong, is that one need to be able to apply this in the 5 range of movement. We know that from my past, my other videos here, or in Wing Chun Resurrecting Wing Chun, the 5 ranges of movement is the long distance movement, the short distance movement. In this distance movement, like the takedown range, and then you go knee, standing in the knee, and then you go into ground. That 5 range of movement. So if one want to do Kwin Chong Sam Fat, hand issue from heart, one better have that 5 range of movement developed. Otherwise, it is either it is narrow. Say if I just do Kwin Chong Sam Fat from this long range, and I'm missing all the 4 other range, from the short range, the takedown range, the kneeling stance range, and the going down to the ground range, then I just have 1 out of 5. Even I do the best, it is actually not that useful. Okay? Because you cannot change. You cannot dynamically change. The second thing about this loose, if we don't know about this 5 range, never develop it, we never know that it is about the neural connectivity or the neural synergy of the entire body, or the 7 bowls. Those of you who follow me, it is hopeless. You keep being say Soong because it's a Chinese term. Big deal, it's a Chinese term. You need to know what it is. Okay? So repeating Soong like a mantra, saying that it's internal and everything, is just completely misleading. So we need to know what is the proper on the Kwin Chong Sam Fat, hand issue from heart, and the loose or soft. Okay? So that's why in the Resurrecting Wing Chun book, I share more on this. Of course, it's not my idea or my speculation. It's based on ancient writing from multiple sources, and we know what it is. Okay? And now we know that it is in sports science. Now, so big deal, neuromuscular proficiency, big deal. Why? In a combat, you need what? You need power, you need speed. That means you need what? Muscular endurance. You need cardio endurance. So, that's why the ISO chain is very important now. I can do the neuromuscular connectivity here. But it doesn't tell you that it be able to go this far. Hurt the bit. I move here, that is with the muscular, the training, the strength. I move here, sure I can move. Neuromuscular proficiency in handling it, but it doesn't mean that I have the muscular endurance. Okay? Now, you want to have the muscular endurance, you need the breathing, low abs breathing. That's why in the Shaolin Sword Strike, the first thing it tells you is that low abs breathing must be developed, or else you couldn't even handle yourself. So now you know the breathing is the base. You have the muscular, neuromuscular connection or proficiency up there, or synergy. And then you have the muscle endurance and you have the cardio endurance. Without that, the entire thing doesn't work for the basic. Only on top of this, your momentum come in. Okay? You change your directions constantly. Go up, going down. So I hope that you see the entire thing. If the body never go through all of this, you want to fight Xi Xiaotong, forget about it. Because you don't even know how to condition this body. Doing Soong, Zhanzhuang, doing your Xiu Lim Tao this way, internal mind power. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? So the issue is that the Wing Chun ancestor didn't say that. The Shaolin ancestor didn't say that. Somebody in the past 100 years create all this kind of stuff. Sure, you look at somebody else internal, you import it in. Oh, I want to disconnect power, disconnect. What disconnect? I need neuromuscular proficiency, connectivity, and synergy. Otherwise, my body cannot move in high strength, high power, high speed. I cannot accelerate because you cannot handle your body, period. So, all of us who was born weak, I'm a guy who was born really weak. That's why I decided to do this research. You need to go through what I'm talking about if it is traditional Chinese martial. And that is the path how you to strengthen your body. And today we have the sports science. The sports science already know what is going on. Even the sports science at the other day explained that it doesn't get into the low abs breathing and going into the deep recovery or nurture chi. They don't have the technology yet. But soon they will get it. So the guy who keeping talking about internal, advanced, Soong, using your mind, is there any internal at all? Any advanced at all? Anybody who study sports science, functional training will look at you like a fool. Because they don't. If you're a human, you don't have this thing, your body cannot function. You cannot perform. Period. Again, does the ancestor say that? No. So who are you following? yourself, the grandmaster, or you follow the ancestor, you follow the sport science. And if you keep doing the same thing, for sure you're going to get beat up by Xi Xiaodong. Guaranteed. Because you don't know what Xi Xiaodong know. You don't train what Xi Xiaodong train. And in fact, you don't even train your art. If you don't follow the instruction of training from the ancient, what are you doing? What are you researching? So sometimes people say, well, I research in this. So if you're researching in this, why in the past 60 years, 80 years, you don't present what I'm presenting here? And in fact, right now, you just go to the sport science or the power training coach, they know all this. So who is more internal? Well, what internal secret Chinese have? When this basic is not even there. So, mind power. What is mind power got to do with all this thing? What is qi got to do with all this thing? What I'm just presenting to you. How is it come to the picture? Well, the other day I just explained what is qi about, the 3 types of qi. So loose. Well, you want to do a dance? Sure, a dancer have a good neuromuscular proficiency, but they have their muscular endurance, cardio endurance, supporting muscular endurance. Dancer have to have a good cardio too, breathing, right? But do they have their muscle endurance? They have that momentum handling. As I share in or I present in the Resurrecting Wing Chun, the recycling of momentum. And one right away be able to spot the non-recycling momentum. One right away know there's a problem, and that's why the opponent be able to make use of that. So if we don't study what the ancient talked about, we don't know what is about science and keeping living in this fantasy zone. What do you expect? That's why I keep quiet for so many days until people ask me again. So I say, okay, you want to know the reality? This is the reality. So are you going to change, or are you going to keep the same? You don't have to like me, you don't have to like what I'm saying here, but this is a reality. This is a stone wall. You cannot penetrate it. Because Xi Xiaodong is the stone wall. Only after this, what I present to you today, you'll be able to talk about techniques. Otherwise, we couldn't even handle this body. Keeping making all these things mysterious, qi, yi, shen, and everything, doesn't even know that the sequence of neuromuscular conditioning to the 5 range of movement handling, to the strength training, like I show you with the iso chain, and the development of the muscular endurance and the breathing, low abs breathing. It's hopeless. Look at how many this internal guy, can they breathe? So when you go to a high speed, like I shared with you just now, momentum exchange, you cannot follow, you cannot keep up. And also, nobody is going to stand like in a straight line like that. People always, if it is Shaolin short strike based art, is always shoot in here, right away the second shoot in here. Nobody going to stand like that, exchange. And this is always mobile and attack. Okay? This is called dong bu, moving step attack. It's not ding bu. Ding bu meaning fixed step attack. The real life in the Shaolin short strike and all Shaolin short strike art based art is always dong bu. You always want to adjust yourself. There's all kinds of stuff. That's why I wrote it in the Resurrecting Wing Chun. Those who really care, who really want to study, deserve to know this. Those who want to go for their internal magic and all this thing, this is not my business. Those who want to go for lineage, grandmaster title, also there's none of this channels area. Those who want just go to fight, whatever, who win, talk with hand, not talk with mouth, is also not belongs to here. This is focused only on the investigations of what, why, how of ancient Chinese and ancient Wing Chun Queen. So it's not me, I'm not the grandmaster. I just tell you what is the ancient Shaolin or the ancient Wing Chun ancestor teach in today's sports science term, and see whether is this par with today's MMA training or not. It is, because it's human. So this is to share with you today.